right, ladies and gentlemen, we will call the called meeting of the Board of Regents of Del Mar College to order at 5:30 p.m. This is Monday, August 19th. We have a quorum, 7 board members present, and can conduct business. Would you please join me for a moment of silence? Thank you. Dr. Sherwood, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And would you all please join the board in reading the mission statement? Del Mar College provides access to quality education, workforce preparation, and lifelong learning for student and community success. We actually have 2 meetings today. We will first conduct our agenda item on the college budget. We will open a public hearing and then receive a presentation. We will recess the meeting for a few minutes to allow any additional members of the public who might want to speak. We will come back and close that public hearing, take action, if there's any action to take, and then we will conclude this first meeting. We will then immediately convene the second meeting, which is our public hearing on the tax rate, and we will dispense at that point with our moment of silence and Pledge of Allegiance and those kinds of things, and repeat the same scenario for the public hearing and discussion on the tax rate. So that's the way we're going to work, and then we'll have a brief calendaring period at the end of the meetings. So with that, I am going to, at 5:32 p.m., open the public hearing on the college budget for fiscal year 2019-2020, and Mr. Garcia is going to take us through a brief presentation, and then we'll see if there's any members of the public who would like to speak.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Madam Chair, Mr. President, and members of the Board of Regents, good afternoon. We are in the final stages of the budget process. It is a process that started in the spirit of governance by which various stakeholders were engaged in the process, to include the board, the executive team, faculty, students, college departments, divisions, and the staff. Throughout the process, efforts have been made to build a budget that is based on the stakeholders' feedback, that is data-driven, and that is strategic focus. At this morning's conversation, the president and members of the executive team presented the vision for the college for the next 5 years. In the words of our president, the vision is focused around the needs of our students. In the words of our president, it is the intent to steer with efficiency and to steer our students with more guidance. The planned budget includes financial resources to support this vision and provides funding for, and these are a couple of examples, student completion and transfer, student degree pathways, and student advising. Here's some more examples. There's funding for the new Southside campus and a safe learning environment. There's also funding to support our corporate service training programs. These examples alone will require a lot of work and is achievable with exceptional faculty, staff, and technology. Accordingly, resources have been allocated for employee compensation and our new ERP system. In order to deliver the college's vision, the college's planned budget is $107.9 million for fiscal year 2020. This includes resources from tuition, property, taxes, and base operations. Of the $107.8 million of resources, $79 million is allocated to salary and benefits. $1 million is allocated to the Southside campus, $23.9 million to non-salary expenses, $1.9 million for bond payments, and another $1.6 million for contingencies. This contingency is in accordance with our board policy that requires us to reserve a 1.5 rate of total operating expenses. Want to point out that the day before my last board presentation, we received some feedback on a budget line item from a faculty member. I want to say that the college listened. The college assessed the various data points, and the college has made a budget change. This is the only change that's made in our overall presentation. This is just a redistribution of financial resources to fund specifically this rank schedule increase right here, $135,000. That's the only change that has been made since my last presentation. Okay, what are the next steps? Well, this is just the initial start of the first public hearing on the budget and tax rate. We will come to the board on the 27th for the budget approval for your approval of the budget. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my presentation. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Yes.
We'll open up the opportunity for any member of the public who would like to speak on the budget. This is a public hearing for the budget.
I've only got one comment. Southside campus is wasting everybody's money. There's no reason, you don't need Southside campus. The Del Mar student that comes to Del Mar College has not went up, not one student since 1992. And if this Board of Regents will go to the 4 campuses we got right now and look in the classrooms, every one of them are half empty. We do not need, and I'll keep saying it, we do not need the Southside campus. And if you can't see that it's a waste of money, you need to wake up, because it is a waste of money. I mean, I could understand if the college enrollment was increasing, but it has not increased, not even one student since 1992. And all the classrooms in all 4 locations are half empty. So I wish somebody could explain to me why we need the Southside campus, or explain to everybody in the Del Mar district, because that's raising our taxes and there's no need for it.
Thank you, Mr. Gordy. Is there anyone else from the public who would like to address the board on the upcoming budget? We're going to take a 5-minute recess just to make sure that if there's any member of the public who might be a few minutes late, to give them an opportunity to come. So we will recess for 5 minutes. Any members of the public like to speak on the budget? All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments from members of the board on the budget presentation? Seeing none, we will take no action today. Is there any general public comment? Mr. Gordy.
I'm looking at something that's strange. I was told that the reason they brought the lawyer down here from Austin is because it was a requirement to have a lawyer sitting in on the meeting. Where's the lawyer at? But you're having a meeting. But I was told by the college that you cannot have a meeting without a lawyer sitting there. Any lawyer from Austin, from Corpus Christi, could have been sitting in that chair last Tuesday. Any lawyer. But we pay some guy $5,400 to come down here from Austin instead of using a Corpus Christi lawyer. Again, if that's not a waste, I wish somebody would tell me what it is. You could have got somebody to come locally to come and sit in that chair. Not one word come out of his mouth the whole time. So his whole trip was wasted. Everything you paid him was wasted, or gonna pay him.
Thank you, Mr. Gordy. Anyone else for general public comment? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned at 5:45 p.m. We will now reconvene at 5:45 p.m. in our public meeting and public hearing on the tax rate. We have previously established a quorum and conducted our opening ritual. And so want to ask Mr. Garcia if he would review for us the presentation on the tax rate.
Very nice, thank you. Okay, so transitioning into today's first public hearing.
I'm sorry, before you do that,
Yes.
I apologize. I do want to formally open the public hearing, and we, at 5:46 p.m., and we will start that public hearing on the tax rate with your presentation. I apologize, Mr. Garcia, for the
That's fine.
interruption.
Okay, thank you. So transition into today's first public hearing on the proposed tax rates. The proposed tax rates will be used to fund our operating activities that is focused around the needs of our students. The college is proposing a combined total tax rate of 0.28 cents, which is, get the right mouse here, oops, 28 cents right there. This is an increase from fiscal years 2017, which is, or actually, yes, which is driven by the new general obligation bonds that were issued towards the end of fiscal year 2018 at about $101.6 million. I'm sorry, I meant to say from 2017. 0.24 cents going to 28 cents, predominantly driven right here in the debt service that was issued in 2018, $101.6 million in debt obligations. Also want to point out the debt service rate, which is right here, 69 cents. It's trending downward from the previous year, 0.72 cents, right there. This is attributed to the increase in property values. The appraisal district reported property values at $26.8 billion. This is up from prior years, $24.9 billion, or an increase of 7.6%. Based on the proposed tax rate of 28 cents, an annual tax is $465 on the properties valued at about $165,000. $465. Trending downward from the previous year, $467. Okay. Okay, this slide has similar information. The only difference is the percentage rate changes above the effective rate. As you can see here, it's trending downward from 5.42 or as far as high as 7.86 back in 2018, trending downward to 4.97%. I started this presentation talking about the financial needs to support the vision that is focused around the needs of our students. The proposed combined tax rate of 0.28 will generate $77.3 million. This includes $58.2 million to fund our operations and another $19 million to service our general bond obligation debt service. Madam Chair, Mr. President, members of the board, this concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from board members? Now have an opportunity for members of the public to comment during our public hearing on the tax rate for fiscal year 2019-2020. Do we need to recess for a few minutes? I think folks had the opportunity to come earlier. So I'll call once again any members of the public who wanted an opportunity to speak on the tax rate.
Don't have to recess if you want.
Okay. Without any action on this item, we'll take our action next week. I want to remind the public from a calendar standpoint that we have another public hearing on the tax rate only this coming Thursday, August 22nd, at 5:30 p.m. here in the Eisense Boardroom. And then our final opportunity for public comment and adoption of both the budget and the tax rate will be next Tuesday, the 27th. I want to remind the board that that meeting is beginning at 11 a.m. We had previously set it for noon, but we had a couple of board members with conflicts. So we're going to have that meeting at 11 a.m. on Tuesday, the 27th, here in the Eisense Boardroom. With no further business before the board, the meeting is adjourned at 5:50 p.m.